Heard Howard and Dr. Hart talking about the Big Island mayor's race, where Harry Kim, the incumbent, will not be going on to participate in the general election. But let's talk to the front runner now, Mitch Roth. Manolo Morales spoke with him.
Well, just your reaction to that first printout, which is look like it's going to hold, because really that is most of the votes.
Yes, that is most of the votes, so we feel really good moving forward.
Surprising in a little bit as far as where Harry Kim stands here, as at this point he's not going to move ahead to the general election.
I'm not really that surprised. You know, there's a lot of people in this race. I think a lot of people are surprised, where they were as far as everybody else. But I wasn't really very surprised.
And why do you say that? You're telling me that there's some people have been frustrated with what's going on.
Well, when you look at Ikaika coming in second place, Ikaika is there because I believe that he had a voice during the lava incident, and I think a lot of people were frustrated that we weren't communicating very well, and so where you have a vacuum, people into that vacuum, and I think that's where Ikaika got his start. And, Ikaika's a great guy, good friends with him. I feel good going forward. I have the experience running government. I think that's going to be really important for people going forward, is that you can't have a learning curve post-COVID. You're going to need to hit the ground running. You're going to need to know how government works, where to go, and I believe I have that advantage over him. But like I say, Ikaika's a great guy, and I look forward to running this race with him.
What's been the message that you've been sending out in the past couple of months, and how does it change moving forward?
Well, our message is really simple. The philosophy of government has to change to one that helps people thrive and succeed versus permitting them to exist. And, it seems that in talking to business owners and talking to people, everybody's frustrated about, how the processes go as far as starting businesses, as far as building houses, as far as making things happen. Hawaii's been looked at as very anti-business, which has resulted in a lot of our children having to live on the mainland and, go other places because there's not quality jobs and not affordable housing. Moving forward, we need to make sure we're getting people safely back to work, but also looking at how we can keep our kids here.
Well, I mean, certainly those are all great things to do, but there's a lot of challenges moving ahead with the pandemic, and obviously it's going to be hard to do that.
There are a lot of challenges, and I think that's another advantage I have moving forward, is that throughout my entire career, whether it was working with Weed and Seed, whether it was starting different initiatives, restorative justice being the first one in the country in a prosecutor's office, we've been able to make things happen. We've been able to do them actually with very little county funds. We've been great at getting grant funds. Our prosecutor's office has a budget of over $11 million, and over a quarter of that is found through grant funds, whether they're earmarked or we're competitive. I think the county needs to look at other ways of moving forward, and I think grant funds are going to be one. We can't continue to raise taxes, and we can't continue to prevent people from being successful and thriving here.
I know Mayor Kim had talked about just the, he really had to just focus really not even on the campaign, and maybe that's his downfall at this point. But what do you need to do to really get you to November and win it and be the next mayor?
That's a great question. I think we need to keep on doing the same thing that we have been doing, reaching out to our community, giving our community a voice. With COVID, we have not been able to campaign in normal ways. We haven't been able to go knocking door to door, have our, fundraisers or anything like that. The way we've done it is, we've really kind of done a grassroots campaign, talking to people. We do Facebook Live. We take live questions and answers every Thursday night. And I think, that we did that because of COVID. I think moving forward, that may be something that politicians and people in office need to do, is give people a chance to be heard. I think that's what a lot of people are our feeling is that their voices aren't being heard. And so we're going to keep on allowing them to have a voice. And after being elected, I intend on doing that as well.
All right, Mitch, thank you very much. Certainly a lot of work done. Now there looks like there's more work to be done through November.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks, Manolo.
Take care.
Take care. Aloha.
Aloha.